Hey guys, Dr. Israel Spalding here, THD. Once again, welcome to the Biblical Healing Oils Institute. We're going to share with you today some more vital truths pertaining to your spiritual health as well as your physical, emotional, and mental health. And we're going to be talking about biblical healing oils once again. We're going to shed some light on why they heal. And number one is because throughout the ages, oils have been God's medicine. And we find this throughout human history as well as throughout the Bible from Genesis all the way to the book of Revelation. You will find oils being mentioned. And so this was one of God's ways of bringing healing to his people. So what we have is an ancient science with a biblical foundation. We're discovering new truths with healing of different dimensions. And so I need for you to know, even as the book of Ecclesiastes as well as Shakespeare has already said, there's nothing new under the sun, only things forgotten. And so we're learning some really powerful information here. We're sharing and still learning powerful information that is just changing the way we live. And so I got to tell you, at the Biblical Healing Oils Institute, we are receiving testimony after testimony concerning what these biblical oils are doing in the lives of people. Just for example, on yesterday, we had a lady to share a testimony. She wanted some of the mental dynamite oil for a friend of hers who had not slept in months. I mean, it had been a long extended period of time that this woman had not had any restful sleep. And so just by being anointed on her forehead with this oil that night, and from that night forward, she has had just wonderful nights of sleep. And so, it's just amazing. And so it's not only the oils doing what God purposed them to do, but it's also God being involved in these oils and with these oils. So we're going to move forward here. Many of you, all of you should know that oxygen is one of the most powerful substances on the planet, and it is vital to human existence. Okay, and so once again, oxygen plays a vital and critical role in our very existence, because without it, we could not exist. And what scientists have discovered is that biblical oils, which are basically essential oils, are the most oxygenating substance on this planet as far as oxygenation on a cellular level, meaning that they oxygenate your cells when they are inhaled or when they are topically applied. Now that's powerful. That is really powerful because in the human body, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a quick comparison between the human body, human life, and plant life. In the human body, blood is the essential fluid that flows through the body, carrying oxygen and nutrients to the body. And so oxygen is undoubtedly one of the most powerful nutrients that the blood carries to the cells in the body. And so without this oxygen in the bloodstream, you already know what would happen. Death would be imminent. Okay, so yes, the individual would certainly die. Death would begin at the cellular level, and it would continue to spread throughout the body. So without this oxygen, what would happen is the body, these cells would become the host for all sorts of diseases, all different types of diseases. And so we see the importance of oxygen being transported through the blood to the cells, okay? And so that is really powerful. So once again, if you take away the oxygen, take the oxygen out of the blood, you have death, okay? Because the blood would create a toxic gas that would just once again be a host for all these different diseases. Shortage of oxygen is what you're looking at. And so now, if you just think for a moment, that's one of the things that's going on in our human existence today, a shortage of oxygen. Now think about this. So if what I said is true, what I said a few moments ago is true, a shortage of oxygen in the body creates a host for all sorts of diseases. So now look at this. Because of the air, contamination in the air, shortage of oxygen. Because of the bad water. What we're drinking today is actually dead water, and it's not actually doing what God designed it to do because of the condition that the water is in. It's not carrying the oxygen like it should be carrying, okay? It doesn't have the amount of oxygen. It's not able to release the oxygen. A lot has gone wrong there. So it can't release the oxygen like it should be able to release the oxygen in the body, and because of the food supply, the chemicals as far as pesticides and different preservatives in the food. So all around, we have a lack of oxygen in the body. The cells are not being profusely supplied with oxygen like they should be, not to mention the fact that most of us fail to exercise as we should. Now, once again, biblical oils as well as essential oils are, according to many scientists, the most oxygenating substances on the planet at the cellular level. So that is one of the reasons that these oils heal. Okay, so now, as we looked at blood in the human body, we can look at the fluid that flows inside the plant. Okay, and it follows the same protocol. Okay, and so that's one of the reasons I believe that it's called essential, because it is absolutely necessary, okay, for the life of the plant. And as I said, it carries nutrients to the different cells and parts of the plant, carrying life. And so I find it interesting that Jesus called himself or the Bible refers to Jesus, the Son of God, as the Rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley. And he himself referred to himself as the vine, and we are the branches. So in a spiritual sense, whatever is in him is supposed to flow into us. The life that is in him is supposed to flow into us. The life that sustains his life is the life that flows into us and gives us life. Okay, so now God has given us the understanding to utilize these oils through inhalation, through being topically applied, and some oils can be digested internally. Okay, so once again, people, this was God's system of healing. Okay, and so we are seeing God work in the lives of people on a daily basis. And once again, who can explain God? God sets a system out there, and we are to follow God's divine protocol. Now, one of the things that causes life to be problematic is when we do not follow God's divine protocol. And, he himself said, I am the Lord that healeth thee. I'm the Lord thy God that healeth thee. Okay, so when he made that statement, he laid claim on the healing system and proclaimed himself to be the healer of humanity and health itself. So God himself is the healthcare system. So we have several things going on here. One is his glory he will not give to another. So he claimed that for himself. Two, he's a jealous God. Okay, so that means that when humanity tried to take over God's healing system and not include God in the system, then it became problematic. And so I actually believe that a lot of what's going on as far as the unsurmountable death tolls that we see on a daily basis from sickness and disease, by God's system, a lot of this, utilizing God's system, a lot of this, I believe, could have been prevented, because in reality, we're seeing people who have not walked in years being anointed with oil, and all of a sudden they're able to walk. One individual who was anointed with the oil blend that God shared with me, the ingredients and the formula for this, he was anointed. And I'm thinking that, he was 87 years old. So I'm thinking that he may have had some problems with senility, maybe Alzheimer's. But when the individual, his daughter, anointed him with